Hi FlossTube, it's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. It is Friday the 3rd of April and I am back for my Chart of the Day video number 11. Yesterday I mentioned that winter was going to make a return, and it did. It took me about a half an hour to scrape the ice off my windshield on my car this morning, and that was after it sat and ran for a half an hour. So we had a good coating of ice, but it's pretty much all melted off now. So, and it's supposed to warm up this weekend, which is good. I read over the comments this morning on yesterday's video about whether you're summer or winter, and in my opinion, summer won. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to say that yes, summer won. So thank you again for participating. I enjoyed it greatly. I want to take a minute. I have thanked everyone almost every day, I think, for continuing to support your small businesses and your needlework shops. I want to just say thank you to everyone who has placed an order or who has left me a message. Almost everyone I've talked to, and I've talked to some really nice people, has thanked me for doing the daily videos and has told me how much they're enjoying them. And I just want to say that really touches my heart that you're enjoying them so much, because I know I'm not the funniest person in the world. So for you to be enjoying them really touches my heart, and I want to thank you once again for watching and commenting and taking part in the question of the day. And I will continue on as long as you guys are enjoying them. So, people have been so sweet when they've called and placed orders or emailed me. And there was one lady, and I feel really bad about it, and I didn't get her name, but I think I might have offended her. I was on the phone, she called about some framing, and I was talking to her about, well, right now all the molding suppliers are shut down, and I said I'm already about 3 months out, and this is going to take it even further out. And we were chatting a little bit, and then the mailman came, and I thanked the mailman while I was talking to her, and I think she thought I was dismissing her. So if you're watching, I wasn't dismissing you. I was thanking the mailman, but she hung up rather abruptly right after that. So I'm sorry if I offended you. I didn't mean to. I was thanking the mailman for bringing the mail. So please, if you had any more questions, call me, please. Okay, so chart of the day. That's why you're here. Is from Puntini. I could be totally not pronouncing that correctly. I think they're Italian, I think. It is called Books and Cats, and I know there are a lot of cat lovers out there. I am a dog lover, mostly by default, because I'm allergic to cats. So I like cats, I just can't be around them very much because I break out in hives and get all itchy, and that's just not fun for me. So while I like them, I can't be a cat lover because I can't have one. Dan would love to have a cat, but the kids were allergic growing up too, so that was just never going to be an option. So I'm a dog lover, but today's chart is for you cat lovers and you lovers of books, which I am a lover of books. So this calls for 32 count raw natural, and we've talked about raw natural before and how it's a good choice if you're kind of stuck, because it's a good neutral. And while the threads are fine on there, I should have put this on a little hooker. but I didn't. So now we're going to have to struggle through. Dang it, I hate when I forget to do that. So there's the colors. There's some blues, some greens, browns, a little red. And they look fine on that fabric. They look fine. I have some 32 count fawn, vintage fawn from Lakeside. And the threads look really pretty on there also. It's got a little bit more of a golden hue than the raw natural. So they look good on there also. But when you look at the chart, you can see there's a lot of empty white space, I guess is what they call it. So I personally would like to have a little something something going on there. So I decided to pull a couple of different fabrics. You're surprised, right, that I pulled different fabrics. Totally shocks the heck out of you, huh? This is Picture This Plus Feldspar. And I think that would be an excellent choice. The blues look good on there. If you get the right, I do have one dye lot that's maybe this might have to be darkened up a little bit, but I don't think so, but maybe. But I think it looks really good on the feldspar. And it would provide some interest in all that openness. And if you're more of a neutral girl and still want a little bit of interest, I pulled out some Oaken from Picture This Plus. And they look good on there. Oopsie. And the last one I pulled out is from Stephanie, from Hand Dyed to Stephanie. And it's Jamie's Kilt, I think. Let me double check. I read the tag like 5 minutes ago and my brain doesn't retain much. Yep, Jamie's Kilt. My brain just doesn't seem to retain information really well anymore. Okay, so there's Jamie's Kilt. Now it has gray, it has green, it has some pinks, some white, some blues. So it's a multicolor, it's a very pretty fabric. And I think the colors would look good on there also, if you want to go a little wild and crazy. It's kind of blown out a little bit, but I think that would be very pretty also. So that is the chart of the day. Several different fabrics to choose from. Should be something there for everyone's taste. Now for the question of the day. And I'll bet you think it's going to be, are you a cat or a dog lover? Which you can answer that question too if you'd like. I already have. But my question is, what is your favorite book? Now, it can be from childhood. It can be a young adult book. It can be an adult book. Just your favorite, all-time favorite. For me, that's really hard to pin down. I read a lot. I read every day. I don't read anything too terribly in-depth because I'm usually reading after I go to bed at night. for about a half an hour, and by then my brain's had it, so mostly I read smut. But I have been known to read an occasional book that isn't. So it was hard for me to, it is hard for me. In fact, I can't narrow it down to just one. So you're going to get several of my favorite choices. I'm going to go back to childhood, and two of my favorites are The Secret Garden. Okay, three of my favorites. The Secret Garden, The Little Princess, and Jeremy Thatcher, Dragon Hatcher. Now that one I didn't read when I was a kid, but I read it to the kids when they were kids, and I really liked that one. Now if we want to go further back even still to when you read to your kids and they didn't know how to read, it would have to be Where the Wild Things Are, Pale Green Pants with Nobody Inside 'Em. That's a Dr. Seuss one in case you haven't read it. It's not as well known as some of the others, but one of my very favorites. Starts out, I was walking in the night, and I saw nothing scary, for I have never been afraid of anything. Well, not very. I was deep within the woods, when suddenly I spied them. I saw a pair of pale green pants, with nobody inside them. Now you got to look up the book and finish reading it. And A Wish for Wings That Work, Opus. That's going way back. Young adult, I tend to like a lot of the, now it's gone right out of my head. So I'll skip over to a series of books, the Shannara series is one of my very favorite all-time books. I never got into The Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings series, but I did enjoy the Shannara series a lot. The Harry Potter series, of course. Who doesn't like that one? I know there are people out there who don't, but it's a good series of books. So, and then there's all my favorite smut books, which we're not going to go into, but so those are a few of my personal favorites. And maybe you can recommend something that you think I will like based on that. Abby had a couple the other day. Like, can you tell my bangs are getting too long? By the time this whole quarantine thing is over, they're going to be hanging down here, and I'm going to take scissors to them. I just know I am. Anyway, back to the book thing. I forgot what I was saying. See, nothing stays in my brain anymore. Abby had one that she recommended to me, and I can't remember the name of it, but she told me, oh, Mom, I think you'd like that. So I'll have to ask her. Janet Ivanovich, there's one. I really like the Stephanie Plum series, and I like Iris Johansson, her Eve series. So those are my favorites. What are yours? I think that's all I'm going to talk about today. I will try and do another video tomorrow. And I'm hoping all of you are well. Tonight is the last episode of Hawaii Five-0, so if you hear a gut-wrenching scream at about, well, it would get over at 9 o'clock my time, so Central Time, that will be me mourning the loss of my boyfriend. Otherwise, have a great evening. Get some stitching done. I didn't stitch last night, but I'm hoping to tonight. So get some stitching done. If you'd like to share it with me, you can tag me on Instagram or post it on the Facebook page for reflections. I'd love to see what you're working on. Otherwise, take care till next time. Bye.